Babylon, certainly, right? And we'll look at in the scriptures, we'll actually peel that back in the scriptures, peel that onion, and sort of show the exact fibers that connect this concept of Babylon to, a more specific nation today, right? And that's America, man. Dirty, stinking, God-damned America, man. Right? The bloody state, man. The great whore that rideth upon the beast, right? Mystery Babylon, right? So we'll be revealing today what our people need to know about the fall of this damn disgusting kingdom, man. Praise the Most High that is falling apart before our very eyes, right? So we'll start in the intro with two videos, just looking at, the state of the American empire, right? So we'll start with this one here. Everyone can see the screen, right?
Calm.
All praises. No, the screen's not sharing. How do I get this? What's happening here? Oh, come on, I'm not getting. There we go. Now everybody's able to see the screen. Khan?
On.
All right. So we'll look at a little bit of this video footage here and a little bit of another video just to get an idea of what's actually happening in the world, right? Because, someone may stumble upon this video, they're like, what are these guys talking about, man? My grandmother been saying the world's gonna end. People say that every year. Well, the world's not ending. The kingdom of Babylon, the last kingdom spoken of in the Bible, is falling. That's what's happening. And after this kingdom falls, the only other kingdom that's going to rise is the kingdom of the Most High God. So we're giving our people full understanding of what exactly that new kingdom is, who's in it, who's ruling, all of that. And we're giving our people the full understanding of the scriptures that show that the fourth kingdom is indeed America, man, right? Well, it's Rome, and the last iteration of it is America, right? And it all comes from ESAU, right? By way of Greece, man, right? So we'll look at all the scriptures that connect the dots to take this American kingdom and reveal to you exactly what it is and why it has to go away, man, and what Negroes need to do to make sure that they don't fall along with this kingdom, right? So now let's look at the state of the place.
Huge crisis, a literal burning crisis. And there's this huge crisis, a literal burning crisis. And so now you're going to start testing H-bombs? Or however you measure the tension on your scale, it's going up. You can read studies from the think tanks that talk about what a war with Russia or China would look like, where they just don't even mention
By the way, this is from 1 day ago, okay? The brother says they have meetings where they talk about what a war would look like, and they don't even mention nukes. But he's going to show you that the nukes are certainly on the table, right?
What if Beijing nukes Honolulu? Then we nuke Shanghai and threaten Wuhan and Beijing? And now we could lose all of our major cities and military bases too. The Golden Dome is a pipe dream. You want a defensive missile system to take out incoming Russian nukes? You need nukes. We're gonna have a Mexican standoff where all the major powers are holding hydrogen bombs to each other's heads. And this is gonna be so fail-safe and foolproof that we're not just gonna all die in a damn nuclear war once the bluff is ever ever called. We're talking about a bomb that could kill all of Austin, Texas, destroy everything that we've built here for 200 years. You don't understand the power of these machines. You don't understand how dangerous it is.
World War III is already happening.
This is a house of cards, and it is in the process of collapsing right now.
You're going to see an economic crash the likes of which we've never seen.
Hi folks, Canadian Prepper here. Today I'm joined once again by Scott Horton, editor of Hotter Than the Sun, Time to Abolish Nuclear Weapons, which today I think carries new meaning with all of the new talk about potential nuclear testing returning to the headlines. Scott, welcome back.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me here. I'll mention real quick too that I do have a bit of a treatment on nuclear weapons issues in Provoked as well. And I apologize because I promised and never did deliver the publication online of the missing chapter, the excise chapter of the book that was called Nuclear War, but I just had to cut it for space. And so I have an almost completely edited version. I've just backburnered the thing to death here almost a year, but I'm going to publish that soon. So that's a whole separate little chapter. As you mentioned, I edited that book. It's actually just a book of transcripts of my interviews with nuclear weapons experts about all aspects of nuclear weapons. But I have my own little chapter, so people stay tuned. I'll have that available here, sometime soon, I guess.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we can talk a little bit about that today as well. So Trump recently has started talking about restarting nuclear weapons testing, and yesterday the Russian Security Council held a meeting where they are now talking about retaliatory nuclear weapons testing. What do you think they mean by this, and why do you think this is happening now? What's the purpose of it? What is your interpretation of these recent threats by both sides?
Well, look, I guess I really wish I had been reading the defense press more carefully on this issue in the last year. I'm a bit behind the curve on that. I think this is not just Trump. This is what the military wants, is, to just like they were the ones who wanted out of the INF treaty. And as soon as we were out of the INF treaty, they tested a brand new missile they'd been working on in violation of that treaty.
Which one was that?
Oh, I forget the name of the thing, but it's Defense News and things like that. They covered that stuff. Nobody else cares.
I might skip a few parts because YouTube has a policy that you can't just play people's footage. You have to edit it in some sort of way, right? And so I'm just gonna skip over the parts where he's saying stuff that doesn't really matter.
So like you'll have the Federation for American Scientists and the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists and Defense News and things like that. But, like industry stuff, like Defense News and similar, they're the ones who tend to cover that stuff the most. Maybe the Washington Times, where most of the rest of the media is just too unplugged from military issues and particularly nuclear weapons issues. You just kind of have to be particularly interested in that. That's usually my job, as being an interview host myself and having these types of experts on the show to really help inform myself and everybody else. But I've fallen behind on that because then every once in a while I have to catch up and put it all down in a book and start over again. So I'm a little bit behind. But just here's what I know about the current circumstance is that the Russians, in the midst of this proxy war in Ukraine, they have been testing new nuclear weapons delivery vehicles. They have not been detonating atomic bombs. They did test or claim to have held a successful test of a nuclear-powered cruise missile and a nuclear-powered nuclear torpedo. In other words, an underwater drone or an airborne drone that have essentially unlimited range because of their nuclear power plant on board. They can essentially go around any defenses and hit your target, whatever it is. And that goes along with their new heavy, they call it the Sarmat 2, heavy rocket that can host up to 24 hydrogen bombs on one intercontinental ballistic missile. And then they have their hypersonics of, various descriptions.
So this guy says the Russians are working on their new Sarmat missile that's able to hold hydrogen bombs. Okay, these are nuclear bombs, family. Okay, 24 of them on the missile. Why are they holding 24? Because they drop as a cluster. The way the nuclear bomb hits, when it hits, is it goes into suborbit, high up into the sky, and then it splits and is able to target a region. So it might split into four, for example, and then say they want to flatten Toronto. They would make one hit like middle of downtown, one hit North York, one hit like maybe uh, West End from like Kiel, and one hit, say, from Warden or Kennedy, right? And so when those four hit, then their accumulated effect is the amount of destruction that they're looking for. Now, I want to look at this Sarmat missile real quick. If I remember correctly, this missile is also called the Satan. Russia made a missile and called it the Satan II. See this video right here? I'm not going to play the video, but hopefully you guys can see how the RS-28 Sarmat Satan II works. So he has the first nuclear missile called the Satan, and then he also has the Satan II, right? So, I mean, we're not working in the realm of fantasy here. We're working in the realm of reality, right? I think that's enough on this one, just to show you guys that nuclear war is upon us. You understand? These guys are moving their pieces into place. Now they're going to be testing the nuclear weapons. They've already tested nuclear capable weapons. They now have a missile able to just circle the land, I will say, right? Over and over again. Just keep circling. It's nuclear powered, so it's not going to run out of power. It can just keep circling high in the sky at suborbital orbital or suborbital ranges. I don't remember exactly which one. Heights, sorry, altitudes. And then when they're ready, they say, yeah, hit that target, and then the missile falls into regular airspace and is able to go hit its target. This is real life, right? The scriptures talk about this, right? The scripture talks about a star that puts the whole world in fear, right? And it talks about man building their own stars and hitting one another with them, right? And these are missiles. And the star that puts everyone in fear is the nuclear missile, okay? If you watch this whole thing, these guys are shaking in their boots because they do not want the world to go into nuclear war. But this is where the leaders are leading the world. This is specifically where America is leading the world. America is leading the world into nuclear war, man, right? And why? Because it's prophecy. It has to happen. Yahawah is forcing the hand. So this is what's happening, you know, with nuclear war potential in the state of the American empire, which is the empire that's running the world right now. And here we'll see what's happening with their economy.
90%. That extra 10%, there's a pattern that has destroyed every major empire in history. Not conquest, not invasion, not revolution. Economic collapse. Specifically, currency collapse. And it happens the exact same way every single time. Rome, the empire that ruled the known world for 5 centuries, collapsed.
By the way, this video is from 2 weeks ago, okay?
When its currency became worthless. Spain, which controlled more gold and silver than any nation in history, went bankrupt repeatedly until its empire dissolved. Britain, which dominated global trade for 200 years, lost its empire within a decade after its currency collapsed. 4 times in recorded history, a dominant empire has followed this exact pattern. Military overextension, unsustainable spending, currency debasement or money printing, inflation, loss of confidence, collapse. And every time, the people in power believed they were different, that their empire was special, that the old rules didn't apply to them. They were wrong, every single time. And right now in 2025, the United States is following that exact same pattern. Step by step, warning sign by warning sign. The only question is whether we're near the beginning, the middle, or the end. This is the story of how empires destroy themselves through their own currency, how it happened to Rome, Spain, and Britain, and why every warning sign says it's happening again. Let's start with Rome, the empire that dominated Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East for over 500 years. At its peak, Rome controlled 60 million people across 3 continents. Its military was unmatched. Its infrastructure was the most advanced on Earth. Its currency, the denarius, was trusted everywhere, from Britain to Egypt. The denarius was a silver coin introduced in 211 BC. It contained about 4.5 grams of pure silver. For centuries, it held its value because the Roman government maintained its purity. When you received a denarius, you knew exactly what you were getting. Pure silver, real value. This created trust, and trust allowed Rome to fund its expansion, pay its soldiers, and build its infrastructure. But empires are expensive. Every generation, Rome's borders expanded. Every expansion required more soldiers, more forts, more roads, more administration. And eventually, more money than Rome actually had. So they did what every empire does when it spends more than it earns. They debased the currency. Emperor Nero, ruling from 54 to 68 AD, was the first to significantly reduce the silver content of the denarius. He needed to fund his lavish lifestyle and expensive military campaigns, so he ordered the mints to reduce the silver content from 100% to 90%. That extra 10%, pure profit for the emperor. He could mint 11 coins with the silver that used to make 10, more coins in circulation. Same amount of silver, that's inflation. But 90% silver was still substantial. The real destruction came later. By the time Emperor Caracalla ruled in 211 AD, the denarius was down to 50% silver, half real value, half base metal. By 265 AD, under Emperor Gallienus, it had fallen to just 5% silver. A coin that was once pure silver was now 95% worthless metal with a thin silver coating. Think about what that means. If you were a Roman soldier in 265 AD receiving your pay in denarii, you were being paid in coins worth 1/20th of what soldiers earned 2 centuries earlier.
Sorry, so yeah, the man is saying, within what, a century, your same silver coin dropped, value dropped by 1/20th. It became by, well, 20 times. It became worth 1/20th of what it started as, that silver coin. Okay. And remember at the beginning of the video, he said the same mistakes that have destroyed Rome, Spain, and Britain are the exact same ones that are going to destroy, well, that are now destroying America. Okay. So hopefully from this little excerpt, you could kind of see where America is at, right? Let's see if I can maybe just show real quick here the American piece, a little bit of it, and then we can get going.
Failure. Colony after colony broke away, not
That's
by 5%. Reserved
Britain.
all with pattern once more, inflation, imperial currency, reserve currency since 1940. Let's start with the currency. The United States, the current empire, the current reserve currency, and every single warning sign that destroyed Rome, Spain, and Britain is flashing red. Let's start with the currency. The US dollar has been the world's reserve currency since 1944. After World War II, the Bretton Woods system made the dollar the global standard. It was backed by gold, $35 per ounce. Other nations pegged their currencies to the dollar, and the dollar was as good as gold, literally. But just like Rome, just like Britain, the United States started spending more than it had. The Vietnam War, the Great Society programs, military bases around the world. By the 1960s, foreign governments noticed that America was printing more dollars than it had gold to back them. France, under Charles de Gaulle, started demanding gold in exchange for dollars. Other nations followed. The gold was leaving Fort Knox. The bluff was being called. In 1971, President Nixon closed the gold window. No more gold backing. The dollar became a pure fiat currency, just like the debased Roman denarius, just like the pound after 1931, backed by nothing but trust and the government's promise. At first, it seemed fine. The petrodollar system, established in the 1970s, created artificial demand for dollars because oil was priced in dollars globally. But the spending never stopped. The debt kept growing. In 1980, U.S. national debt was $900 billion. By 2000, it was $5.6 trillion. By 2020, it was $27 trillion. Today, in 2025, it's over $36 trillion. That's a 40-fold increase in 45 years. And it's accelerating. But the debt is only part of the story. Like Rome debasing the denarius, like Spain flooding the world with silver, the United States is printing money. Since 2008, the Federal Reserve has created trillions of dollars from nothing, quantitative easing they call it, necessary to stabilize the economy. During COVID, they printed over $4 trillion in 2 years, more money created than in the previous century combined. And just like every empire before, they told us it wouldn't cause inflation, that modern economics had solved the old problems, that we were different. We're not. Inflation hit 9% in 2022. Real inflation, the prices you actually pay for food, housing, healthcare, is far higher. The dollar is being debased, slowly at first. But the pattern always accelerates. And just like Britain, the United States is losing reserve currency status. In 2000, over 70% of global reserves were held in dollars. Today, it's 58% and falling. The BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and new members, are actively building alternatives. They're trading in local currencies, creating new payment systems, reducing dollar dependence. China and Russia are buying gold aggressively. Central banks worldwide are diversifying out of dollars. The world is preparing for the dollar to lose its dominance, just like they prepared for the pound to fall. The pattern is unmistakable. And here's the most dangerous part. The United States has the same problem Rome had. Military overextension. The U.S. maintains nearly 800 military bases in over 70 countries. The defense budget is over $800 billion annually. Wars in Iraq and Afghanistan cost over $8 trillion. The empire is expensive. And it's being funded with debt and printed money. Just like Rome couldn't pay its legions in debased coins. Just like Spain couldn't fund its military after repeated defaults. Just like Britain couldn't maintain its empire after currency collapse. The United States is running out of time. So let's identify the pattern. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Every empire that has collapsed economically followed the same sequence. Not similar. Identical. Stage 1, dominance. The empire is at its peak.
Right? So hopefully you guys get it. Right? The US empire is falling apart. The same way that all the other beasts before it fell apart. Right? That's what I love watching these geopolitical analysts because they're preaching the word without even knowing it. Right? They're substantiating every word in these scriptures without even realizing it. They're giving us all the receipts to show all the kingdoms that fell, just as the scriptures say. All the kingdoms that fell before. And it's giving us the connections between these kingdoms in secular knowledge, right? But today, what we're going to do is we're going to link all this up with the scriptures, right? And show you Negroes what you need to do, man. And you sincere strangers that want to serve the Most High, right? So let's see here. So the first, I guess, subtitle is Will America Fall, right? And from what you can see from the geopolitical analysts, yes, America will fall. That's the answer, right? America is doing a nuclear posturing and putting the entire world on the brink of nuclear war. America's economy is falling apart, and we all feel it in the pocket. We all see the rising prices of groceries and housing and all of these things. Well, now you are beginning to know where it's from. It's literally from Babylon the Great. Because of their greed and stupidity, the entire world is paying the price. Why? Because they are what's called the world reserve currency, which means American dollars are good everywhere, right? That's the currency people hold in many or held instead of gold, because As the author said, it was as good as gold at a point in time. It had the same value. Certain American dollars had the same value as certain pounds of gold, right? But that's not what's going on today, right? So, will America fall? Without, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the answer is hell yeah, America is gonna fall, right? And let's go to Isaiah, right? Not only is it gonna fall, my point is it is falling right now. Go to Isaiah 30, and we'll read from 25 to 28. Let me get that, please, Sister Kira.
28.
From 25 to 28.
And there shall be upon every high mountain and every high hill rivers and streams of water in the day of the great slaughter, when the towers fall.
When the what fall?
When the towers fall.
So the Most High saying you in the day of the great slaughter, the towers will fall. Well, what towers is he talking about? These damn skyscrapers, that's what he's talking about. Because as we're going to see later on, maybe we can see it now. He tells you the cities will be cast down, man. The Most High is destroying every city in the world. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 23. The dead shall be cast out as dung, there shall be no man to comfort them. Okay, this is talking about what do you call it? The season of World War III. Once the thermonuclear war starts, the entire world is going into darkness. It's gonna become the Book of Eli out here. That's what's happening in real life, family. Okay? So the Most High says the dead shall be cast out as dung. They ain't gonna bury people. And there shall be no man to comfort them. Why? For the earth shall be wasted. The Most High is wasting this whole kingdom, man. The entire American kingdom is gonna get destroyed, right? The whole earth shall be wasted. The cities shall be cast down. That's why I talk about the towers falling. The Most High is destroying every single city on the planet, all of them, right? Okay. Let's read on. 26.
Moreover, the light of the moon shall be as the light of the sun, and the light of the sun shall be sevenfold, as the light of 7 days. In the day that Yahawah bindeth up the breach of his people, and healeth the stroke of their wound.
Pause. And we know the day that the Most High is going to bind up the breach of his people and heal the stroke of our wound is a judgment day, man. Well, can I call it Judgment Day? Yeah, from what people understand as Judgment Day. The return of Yahawah Shai, let me say that. The invasion of what they're going to tell you are extraterrestrials, man, right? That's the day when Yahawah Shai invades the earth with his army of angels, man, right? This is when these things are going to occur, all right? Um, sorry, this is when we're going to see the results of these things, right? So go ahead.
Behold, the name of Yahawah cometh from far, burning with his anger, and the burden thereof is heavy. His lips are full of indignation, and his tongue as a devouring fire,
Read.
and his breath as an overflowing stream, shall reach to the midst of the neck, to sift the nations with the sieve of vanity. And there shall be a bridle in the jaws of the people, causing them to err.
Right. So the Most High says there's going to be a bridle in the jaws of the people, causing them to do the wrong thing, man. He's pulling them into the Third World War. And I think what we're looking at next is the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Yeah, Joel 3, right? To back that up. The Most High is pulling these leaders into destruction because he's done with the foolishness. Okay? The world needs to be pure again and ruled by righteousness. Okay? So Yahawah is pulling these people into their death and destruction as he promised before in his word. And there's not a thing that anyone can do about it. They tried to assassinate Trump. Yahawah saved his life by making him turn his head at the exact moment that he needed to turn his head to not get a bullet to burst the back of his head, man. This is spiritual, you know. That wasn't chance, man. That the angel said what it had to say, so that man had turned at the precise time when he just get a little air shot, boom, and he throw up the fist to keep the ball rolling, right? It says, another thing I want you to note here is it says the Most High is coming from afar, burning. Okay? Because after he destroyed the world with water, he said, the next time I'm destroying this world, I'm destroying it with fire. So whoever don't want to believe, I don't know what to tell you, man. Because even the geopolitical analysts that don't believe in the Most High see that it is the fire that will destroy this kingdom. So if you don't see, you're one of those monkeys that have their eye covered, man. Their ear covered. You don't want to hear, and maybe you're going la la la, hoping it's not happening, but that doesn't work. It's still gonna happen. So you gotta pick a side, right? Okay. Um, let me pull up. Let me pull up. Let me pull up the leaders causing the people to err. Did 9:16 in Isaiah? The leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed, man. Right? Isaiah 9:16. And this was talking about the Israelite leaders, but there's another scripture that tells you that as a king is, so are his people, right? The same manner that you have the king as, the people are like that as well. So if you have Trump as a madman and a buffoon, his people gonna be the exact same way. You see, his country gonna have the same spirit. If you have an Edomite who the Most High says is the border of wickedness, the standard of wickedness, if he's ruling the world, then guess what you're gonna have? And the Most High say he's a fornicator, man, right? And an adulterer, man, right? And a wizard and a beast. So guess what his citizens are gonna be? The same thing, right? Insane beasts, man, sexually immoral, witchcraft loving, God hating beasts, you know. Joel 3. And let's see. Let's get 1 and 2, please, Sister Kara.
For behold, in those days and in that time, when when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land.
You see that? So the Most High say he's gonna bring all the nations into the valley of Jehoshaphat, all right, and kill them there for his people. That's what plead means. He's gonna kill these nations there for his people because the world put his people in slavery and parted his land. Okay, Isaiah 66 and verse 15 backs that. Let me go there right quick. Right, the plead. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind. There's the fire again, coming with the chariots like a whirlwind. That this is the invasion of the earth, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many. So that's plain. When he come in to plead, he's not coming to beg. He's coming to kill people, right? As we looked at last week. So will America fall? Beyond the shadow of a doubt, America will definitely fall. Why? Because they enslaved the Most High's people, right? And going back to Isaiah 30 here, where is it? He's gonna throw down the towers, man, right? Verse 25. He's gonna throw down these towers, man, right? He's gonna come with his burning and in his anger and dash the cities to pieces and cause their leaders to do the wrong thing, right? Let's go to 2nd Ezra 16. We'll read verse 1 and 2. Let's get that, please, Ben.
Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail
Verse
your
1 and verse 2. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 1 and verse 2.
woe be unto you, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand.
All right. Now I keep saying the Most High is going to destroy America. The Most High is going to destroy this American empire, right? So a person might say, well, prove it. How do you know it's talking about the American Empire? How do you not know how do you know it's not talking about the Chinese Empire, the Russian Empire, no, the Chinese don't really have an empire. China, Russia, or maybe the British Empire, right? How do you know he wasn't talking about the Roman Empire and all of these things? Well, we're gonna break it down precept upon precept and peel back the layers so you can see fully that this is literally talking about the American Empire, right? So first he says, woe unto thee. He didn't say America. You'll never see America in the Bible. You gotta be able to take these metaphors, right? These precepts and put them together to get the full picture. So when he says Babylon and Asia, traditionally, I've taught many times when he said Babylon and Asia, he was talking about the actual Asians. But I got an insight when preparing for this lesson that he's not talking about Asia at all. The battle in the world today, if brothers know, please help me out on this, is between the American Empire and who, according to the scriptures?
The Asians or the Japhites.
Nope, that's not the word. That's what the geopolitical analysts say, right? So that's giving you clues, but it's not really a war between Babylon and actual Asia. Maybe we'll hold that and you guys will see who he was talking about the whole time when he was talking about Asia. It's certainly not the Japhites, right? Because even though the geopolitical analysts say there's a war between America and the Japhites, that's not really what's happening, right? Who is America? Any other thoughts before we move on? Because I feel like somebody knows.
About Babylon and the Most
And
High.
Asia. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. What does that mean? Does that actually mean you know, we know Babylon is America, right? This is what we're looking to prove. So if Babylon is indeed America, who would Asia be?
Would that be Russia?
That's right.
Yeah.
Because Russia literally stole the Asians' land. All that land of Russia belongs to the Japhites. That's Asia. So he's actually saying, hey, woe unto thee, America and Russia, right? And their particular allies as well, which is where the Japhites come in, right? Because they are allied with the Eastern Roman Empire. As I've said before, this is a war between the Western and Eastern Roman Empire. This war started thousands of years ago, from when they broke up Rome. You had the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire, and they never stopped fighting since, right? This is what is meant by the book of Daniel in the second chapter when it says the feet of the statue of clay and iron, and they're not really gonna mix. You understand? Even though they're the same, they're not gonna mix, right? And that's what's gonna make it easy for the kingdom to fall, right? All right. So when the Most High says, woe unto thee, Babylon and Asia, we say that this means America and Russia. So let's see if we're right, right? Let's go to Jeremiah 51:11. The Most High will tell you who he's talking about when he's talking about Babylon. Jeremiah 51:11. Let's get that, Ruth. Ruth,
Yep.
go ahead.
Make bright the arrows. Gather the shields. Yahawah hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. For his device is against Babylon, to destroy it. It is the vengeance of Yahawah, the vengeance of his temple.
Right. So Yahawah is his intention is to destroy Babylon. Now, did he destroy the actual Babylon? Yes. But this scripture has a double meaning, just like many scriptures in the Bible, right? And we know the scriptures say that there are double meanings. Okay. Let me just pull that up so you guys can see, right? The scriptures talk about dark sentences. What is a dark sentence? It's a mystery. Okay, there are things in the Bible you got to figure out. The Most High is not just going to give it to you plain. In fact, most of the book is like that, right? But here, the Most High tells you there's double meanings in the Bible. Job 11:6, and that he would show thee the secrets of wisdom. There's secrets in this wisdom, that they are what? Double to that which is. So when you read something, it's not just telling you one thing and that's it. Oftentimes there's double and triple meanings. Isaiah, for example, chapter 14, verse 1 to verse 7 is an example of that, because that was talking about the king of Babylon, but it's also talking about the end of the world when the Most High subjugates the entire world under Yahawah and the Israelites, and then he destroys Babylon. What is Babylon representing? Well, we're gonna see as we continue, right? But there are many scriptures with double meanings. Okay, Christ spoke in parables. What is a parable? The parable has more than one meaning. In fact, the meaning is obscured behind what you think is a simple story, right? But it has a deeper spiritual meaning, right? So this is no mystery. This is not unprecedented. This is how the Bible works, right? So the Most High raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. We looked at this before, right? The kings of Madai, right? Well, if I remember correctly, Madai are the Japhites, right? So he does let you know that the so-called Asian is in that war to destroy Babylon. And then when we look in real life, we see every geopolitical analyst says the next war is with China. The next war is not with China, all right? But that's what they all say. All the Most High tells you in the Bible, the Most High cuts through and tell you the truth. The so-called Chinese are involved, but that's not who the war is between. Okay? It's between Babylon and Asia, and we'll find out what that is, right? So the point here being, the Most High's device is against Babylon to destroy Babylon. Okay? Why? It's the vengeance of Yahawah and the vengeance of his temple. So whoever these Babylonians are, they destroyed the temple. Now we know the first Babylonians destroyed the temple, quote unquote, but you find out in the scriptures it was actually the Edomites that did it. Okay, the Babylonians came and took over the place, but the Edomites destroyed both Yahweh's temples. All right. So now hopefully you're starting to get a clue as to who he's referring to when he says Babylon in this time. Right? Let's go to Daniel 2. Ben, let me get from 31 to 48. And the question here is, who is Babylon? Who is Babylon? Go ahead. Because the Most High is going to destroy Babylon. Who is Babylon? House of Micah, I don't know, you have the writing apparatus like the whiteboard on or something because you're marking all over the screen. I don't even know how to turn that off. Maybe you guys press the annotate button. Just be careful. In any case, you're reading from 31 to 48. Go ahead.
Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible.
Pause. So what's happening here? Daniel is interpreting Nebuchadnezzar, the king of ancient Babylon. He's interpreting his dream for him. And this interpretation actually has prophecy in it. You see, this is the difference between the Bible and other so-called holy books. Only one book on this planet tells you about the past, the present, and the future, and it's the Bible. The scriptures accurately tell you exactly what's going to transpire in the world, and then everything comes to pass word for word. So you know this is the book of the creator of the universe, right? So the Most High tells, so here we have Daniel interpreting a vision for the ancient king of Babylon, and he's actually going to give him insight into what's going to happen at the end of the world. And according to the scholars, I think Daniel was written about 700 BC. Now, are we placing stock in that? Not really, but my point is to show how long ago it was. Okay, so according to the scholars, 530 BC. Okay, the book of Daniel was written. All right. And here's what Daniel is saying to the ancient king of Babylon. Go ahead.
This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest till that stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and brake them to pieces.
Pause. So Daniel is saying Oh, king, this is what you saw. You saw an image, which is a statue, and here's the description of the statue that you saw. The It's very important to note that the description he gives him are all pieces of one statue. There is a relationship between these pieces, okay, of that statue. And what you're going to see as we read is why that statue is why we're going to see why the Most High calls evil kingdoms that rule the world Babylon. We begin to understand why he doesn't have to change the name. When he says Babylon, somebody is going to fit into the piece because Babylon have a head, Babylon have a chest, Babylon have arms, it has belly, it has thighs, it has feet. The same way the kingdom of the Most High has ears, eyes, and all the other body parts. The evil kingdom also has all of the same things. You understand? And so their name as a whole is Babylon, just like the name of the Holy Kingdom is the Kingdom of Israel, right? So again, just wanted you guys to note that all these different pieces are part of one statue. And then look who the head is, and you're going to start to understand why the Most High tell you in the end of the world, he'll be destroying Babylon. Why is he saying he destroying Babylon in the end of the world when the actual ancient Babylon is already destroyed? Well, there is a place that is spiritually called Babylon, known as Babylon. It's known as Assyria, Babylon, the great whore, and many other things, right? Go ahead. Thou sawest. No, sorry. Then was the iron.
Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth.
Right. So Daniel is telling him what he saw. All right. So you saw, a stone hit the feet of that statue, and the statue fell to pieces, man. Right? Like the chaff on the summer threshing floor. The chaff is like when you beat the wheat, the chaff is left over and it's refuse, it's garbage. So the Most High tell him that statue became complete refuse, man. It became rubble, right? And the stone that hit the toe of the statue, that stone became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. And if we're looking prophetically at this, we know there's only one kingdom that starts small and then is going to fill the entire earth. And that's the kingdom of Israel, man, under the rulership of Yahawah the Prince, right? Read. This is the dream.
This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation. And we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king.
Right.
Thou, O king, art a king of kings. For Yahawah of heaven hath given thee a kingdom, power, and strength, and glory.
Right.
Wheresoever the children of men dwell, the beasts of the field and the fowls of heaven hath given into thine hand, and hath made thee ruler over them all. Thou art his head of gold.
Pause. Can we identify people by their head, family? When you see somebody's head, are you able to identify who that person is?
Yes.
Certainly. Is it easier to identify somebody by their head or by like their midsection or their thigh? Let's say their thigh.
Definitely their head.
Definitely their head. It's the easiest way to identify someone. Daniel just told the king of Babylon he is the head of the statue. The statue is a statue of who then, family?
Babylon.
Yeah, and specifically, what king of Babylon? Because remember, Daniel just told Nebuchadnezzar he's the head of gold. So that statue is a statue of who?
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar. The statue that would represent the ruling kingdoms of the world throughout time is a statue of the king of Babylon, which is Nebuchadnezzar. So if I call the arms Babylon, the thighs Babylon, the feet Babylon, you can understand that I'm calling it that because it is Babylon. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
All right. Where we at? Thou art the head of gold. Now watch this. And then now the Most High is gonna break it down. Read from 39.
And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another third kingdom of brass, which shall bear rule over all the earth.
So you see the similarity, just as I told you guys. These are kingdoms that rule the world. The British Empire ruled the world. Rome ruled the world. The Greeks ruled the world. That is a common thread, or another common thread. All these pieces of the statue of Babylon are represented by kingdoms that ruled the world. And the Most I tell you here straight. Oh, after you, Nebuchadnezzar, and your Babylonian kingdom, another kingdom is coming. But all of them are Babylon. All of them are Nebuchadnezzar. He's the head. Right? Read on. 40.
And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
Right, so the fourth kingdom that's coming upon the earth is gonna mash up everything, just like iron mash up everything. This is why in another place, the Most High tell you he's gonna destroy them that destroy the world. This is not a general teaching. Yahawah is very specific, but you have to be willing. You have to be blessed by him. You have to want to know the truth. You have to be willing to believe the truth, right? And not just be hung up on your feelings to see what's going on, man. You gotta wanna actually know, right? And if it please Yahawah, he will show you, right? So this fourth kingdom gonna mash up everything and break the whole world in pieces. So now as the common man, you can start to think, well, what kingdom ruled over the world and just mash up the entire world, man? Who did that? Right? And the answer is coming, right? You may have it in your head, the proof is coming, right? The definitive proof. Read 41.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, forasmuch as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay.
Miry clay, read.
And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
Right? So the kingdom is going to be partly strong and partly broken. This last kingdom, part of it will be strong and part of it will be broken. Okay? The Western Roman Empire is going to be strong. The Eastern Roman Empire will be partly broken. Every geopolitical analyst will tell you the same thing. America run the entire world. And Russia, though not a superpower, are a super military power and have pull beyond anybody else in the East. Okay? Russia runs the East. That's what's happening, right? So the cat's out the bag. It's not a war between the US and China, okay? If it were, China would be sitting down with President Trump to talk about what's going on in Ukraine, man. Okay? Um, but they're sitting and they're talking to Trump is sitting and he's talking to Vladimir Putin. Now, one might say China is the ultimate goal for America, which has been admitted by America, right? But again, these people don't have the spirit. All they have is geopolitical analysis. Okay, so in their mind, China is the next goal. They're trying to hold back China, you know, because China has the amount of production. China is well, let's put it this way, China is well positioned to overthrow America economically on the world stage, right? So eventually they want to get to China, but they got to get rid of Russia first. Okay, so they really think China is in charge, when really spiritually Russia is in charge, not China. Okay, and that China America war is never gonna happen. All right, because it ends with the Eagles. Okay, and we'll prove all of that. So part of the kingdom is strong and part of the kingdom is broken. That's the Eastern and Western Roman Empire, America and Russia. Read.
Whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave to one another, even as iron is not mixed with clay.
Right, and this is talking about the again America and Russia, right? And he says they're gonna mix themselves with the seed of men. Okay, these Edomites, that's what they've done. They've mixed themselves with everybody in the entire world, but they're so greedy that they can't link up as the Eastern and Western Roman Empire and really solidify things. Because the left hand is greedier than the right hand, and they certainly not gonna share it half-half. One hand has to be stronger than the other. Okay, this is the iron mixed with clay, as the Most High says. Read. I'm hearing you guys whispering in the background, please. So, move away, please, when you're speaking. Go ahead, Ben. Move away
And
or mute if you're not reading, mute, and if there's reading around you, please just move away. Go ahead.
And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
So when is the Most High setting up the kingdom of heaven? When is he setting up the kingdom of Israel? During whose reign?
Amerikka's reign.
That's right. During the reign of America and Russia, man. During this time, when America is fighting Russia, Yahawah will set up his kingdom. This is why we keep telling you guys, time is short. These men not gonna live another 30 years. They're not. Trump and Putin, they're not going to live another 30 years. The end is upon us. It's time to prepare, right? And the scriptures will tell you the exact same thing. I will show you, right? So, who is Babylon? Let's see. Historically, Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom, but spiritually, every evil nation that has ruled the world throughout time, or every evil kingdom that has ruled the world throughout time. We know this because all the kingdoms mentioned in Daniel were part of the same statue. All right. So, that being said, who is Babylon today? Right? Who is Babylon today? Let's go to Psalm 137. Right? Now we know every Israelite and informed, stranger walking with the Most High knows this, but this is for you who are watching for the first time and have no clue what the hell is going on. We're putting you on right now, right? So who and for the vets, you have precepts to be able to prove the things you're saying, right? So who is Babylon today? The Edomite kingdom. That's who Babylon is today. Read. Verse 7 to verse 9. Let me get that. Thank you, Ben. Let me get that, please, Kira. Sister Kira.
Sorry, what verse?
Verse 7 to verse 9 here in Psalm 137.
All right. Remember, O Yahawah, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
Read.
Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones.
So the Most High said, yeah, whoever that destroy your children, man, is gonna be happy in the day of destruction. And who did he call the daughter of Babylon? Sister Kira, in your reading here, who did he call the daughter of Babylon? Verse 7. Can't hear you.
Edom?
Go ahead.
Edom?
Edom. That's why I said before we even started reading, who is Babylon today? The Edomite kingdom is Babylon today. Yahawah tell you straight up in the Bible, live and direct, plain upon tables, daughter of Babylon. Just as I told you guys, those pieces were part of one statue, which is the statue of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. So that is really the statue of Babylon. And now he calls Edom the daughter of Babylon. So Edom is part of that statue, you see. Let's get another one. Hebrews 12 and 16. Edom is Babylon today. That's who Babylon is today. Hebrews 12 and verse 16. Go ahead. Um, hmm. Mm, 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 I just want 16. Sure. Let's get that, please. Ruth.
What number?
Verse 16, please.
Lest there be any
Pause,
foreign
pause, pause, pause. Um, Go from 15.
Looking diligently, diligently,
Take your time. Diligently.
diligently, lest,
Diligently.
lest any man fail of the grace of Yahawah,
Mm-hmm.
lest any root of bitterness spring up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled.
Right.
Lest there be any fornicator or profane
Profane.
person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Sold his birthright. Pause. So the Most High said, look diligently, right? So that, albeit, if I can put it in plain English, the Most High says, be diligent so that there's no root of bitterness that takes hold amongst you Israelites. And because if you don't, you will be defiled by this bitterness that will take root up in amongst you guys, right? What is that, what is that saying? Keep the peace amongst your congregation, man. If you're in a congregation, don't have beef with nobody. That's what the Most High is telling you, all right? Because you will be defiled by the beef, okay? And then he says, also look diligently before anybody become a fornicator or an ungodly person like Esau. So the Most High tells you who Esau is. And you're going to learn that Esau and Edom is the same people. The Most High is telling you the Babylonians, the Edomites today, they are ungodly people, profane, nothing good about them. He used them as an example of a profane person and a fornicator, man. Say, don't become like this. Look diligently so none of you, okay, become a whoremonger or an ungodly person like Esau. All right? That man don't know the value of anything. He sold his whole birthright for some food. All right? And then look what the Most High say about him afterward as a bonus. He said that man, he can't, the disrespect with which he treated my gift, there's no turning back from that, right? So read 17.
For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For
Pause. For is Yahawah reject the man. Okay, he would have inherited the blessing, but Yahawah reject him, man. Right? Read.
for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears.
Right. So he wanted to go back and say, well, no, 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 no. He actually tried to take the blessing. And then after he couldn't take it and Jacob got it, he tried to bawl and beg and ask his father, Father, you don't have one blessing for me? And his father tell him, yeah, I have a blessing for you. You'll get the whole world, but you're gonna have to kill everybody for it. Right? And that's what happened in Genesis, I want to say the 27th chapter, but don't quote me on that. You'll have to look it up. Oftentimes, if you look into this particular verse, it'll give you the precept of where you can find the actual account. The point being that who is Babylon today? It's the Edomites. Right here, we see the Most High calls Esau the profane person, the ungodly person, and the fornicator, and tells you not to be like them. Why is that important? Well, Genesis 36 and 8 will back up what I told you guys, which is that Esau is Edom. Read this, please, Ruth.
Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom.
See that? So the Babylonians today are the Edomites. They're also called Esau, right? Now we'll uncover the actual nation, right? If you're watching for the first time, you might be getting clues. If not, well, you're certainly gonna see it clear by the time we finish go through the scripts. So Esau is Edom. Here's their fate. Remember, Yahawah said that he was gonna destroy Babylon, right? And now we're seeing that he's saying he's gonna destroy Edom. And we see how Edom is the daughter of Babylon. So hopefully you're starting to see that Edom is indeed the Babylonian, right? And their what do you call it? Destiny is destruction. Their destiny is destruction. And that's why everything is falling apart in the kingdom of Esau today, in the Edomite kingdom today, which is America. And we will prove that, right? Okay. Ben, give me 1 to 4 and then 17 to 18.
The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith Thus saith Yahawah concerning Edom, we have heard a rumor from Yahawah, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
Pause. The heathen will rise up against who in battle?
Edom.
The heathen will rise up against Edom in battle. If you guys remember, the Most High tells you that Babylon came to the Most High's mind after he did certain works in Revelation, and then he remembered to go and destroy it. He was talking about Edom because Edom is the one around at the end of the world, as we will see. Okay. So the heathen will arise against Edom in battle. Go ahead.
Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
Nobody like you, Edomites, man. Go ahead.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou
Mm-hmm.
that dwellest in the clefts of the rock,
Mm-hmm.
whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
Pause. This is talking about the Edomite, and it says they dwell in the clefts of the rock. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I only know one set of people that talk about how we're cavemen. Okay? And we come from monkeys. I only know one set of people pushing that doctrine, and it's the oppressor, man. The so-called European man. This is Mount Seir, his place. This is his ancient home. No wonder he keeps talking about we all came from caves. Because he came from caves, man. This is his home. This is what he remembers of himself, right? That's just the grand entrance. The man had whole cave cities. Um, right? All with the same so-called Greek and Roman motifs. Okay? Right? Right? And this is the very same image that we looked at many times before. That's on your government buildings in the UK, in Canada, um, and in America, in the UK, Canada, and in America. Watch the same facade. Everyone can see that? This is Washington, D.C. Oh boy. And this is Mount Seir. Do you see the similarity in the facade, everybody? The design on the front of the building,
Yes.
right? Esau is Edom, and the so-called Caucasian is the Edomite. That's the big secret, man. The Most High sell him out and tell him, yeah, yeah, you're not living in the cave, man. Your habitation is high. Yeah, your pride, deceived you, man. You thought everyone was your friend and worshipped you, and they do to a certain extent. Um, but on a very high level, these governments understand that Esau is a devil, man. I mean, I think it's the Japanese or the Chinese. They call him white devil, man. They know he's a deceiver and he cannot be trusted, right? It's the regular peon that has no clue what the hell is going on, right? And is miseducated by demonocracy and religion, man, right? But these high level nations, Xi Jinping knows Esau is a devil. He knows the European is a demon, man, and he can't trust him, right? Kim Jong-un knows as well, you know. These African leaders, certain of them, they know, you know. The Venezuelan prime minister, if he himself is not a devil himself, he knows. The American empire cannot be trusted. The so-called European cannot be trusted. The Japhite knows, man, right? The Native American, right? The Japhite in the West here. He knows you can't trust Esau, man. You can't trust the so-called Caucasian. You can't trust the oppressor, right? Man, at least his old school people know. Now, the new ones might have fallen for the okie doke, right? Because now we're all one, and it's all about mixing it all up together. We're all one. This is the lie that this man has used as the Trojan horse to destroy the entire world mentally, man. We're all in this together. And he have his smooth face and his suit, and yeah. Even when people know the man is a liar, from he come with the smooth face and the suit, they still sign on the dotted line. This is how powerful vanity is, right? In any case, so the Mosai said to the Edomite these things. Read on, because I want to hop down to get to the point.
Thou shalt,
Though
though thou exalt thyself as the eagle,
as a what?
and
Hold on. As a what?
as the eagle,
Read.
and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahawah.
I mean, family, do we really need to ask? Do we really need to talk about who uses the eagle as their insignia? Do we really need to have that discussion? Right? Many European nations, principally America, is known for the eagle. Yahawah sell them out from long time. So the Most High say, even though you exalt yourself like an eagle and set your nest upon the stars, among the stars, meaning it doesn't matter if you have satellite, you want to have moon base, whatever you want, man. I'm bringing you down. Let's jump to 17. Let's see, chapter 1. Let's get 17 and 18.
But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions.
So
And the house of
so the possessions that the Caucasian used to have, the oppressor used to have, the Most High is gonna give it over to the so-called Negro, man. Every last thing. So go ahead and hoard it because you're just holding it for me and those like me, right? Go ahead, buddy. Take every dime. You have to give it all back in blood, sweat, tears, and coin, buddy. Go ahead.
And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them, and
Mm-hmm.
devour them,
Mm-hmm.
and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahawah hath spoken it.
So Yahweh will annihilate the oppressor, man. Right? So now it's getting real. We see he tell you Babylon gonna be destroyed. We see he equate Esau with the daughter of Babylon, showing you that Esau is Babylon. Then he shows you that Esau is the standard of profanity, man, and ungodliness in the world. And then he tells you the heathen will rise up against him in battle. And now he tells you he will annihilate him, right? So the breadcrumbs all add up. There's more. So, let's see. So we know when he says Babylon will be destroyed at the end of the world, he means Esau will be destroyed at the end of the world, right? Let's get a couple more on that. Because this is not guesswork, okay? We didn't make this up, one Sunday. One Sunday morning, we just got up and said, yo, you know what? This is what this means. And we're just going to tell people that this is what it means because, Black power. No, this is what the scriptures say. And it's the truth. So Black power indeed, because that's the only power there is. And it's hilarious because it's the only power everyone hates and don't want to see flourish. But this is the power that builds and destroys everything, right? As we know, the king of the universe is a black man, pursuant to Daniel 7 and 9, right? Anyways, so Babylon will be destroyed, meaning the Edomites will be destroyed. Okay, let's back that up. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. Let's get that, please, Sister Kira.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
So who is gonna bring about the end of the world according to the Bible?
Esau.
Esau, man. Edom. So we gotta pinpoint. I've already said to you who they are, but let's see if the Bible agrees with me or not. We gotta pinpoint who these people are so we know what they're really up to. Because the most I tell you, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob, who are the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, pursuant to Deuteronomy 28, 45 to 48, verse 68, pursuant to Baruch chapter 4, verse 1 to 7, Ezekiel, what chapter in Ezekiel? Don't remember. Anyway, and many other scriptures, man. Tell you Jacob is the beginning of the world that follow. He didn't say China. He didn't say Russia. It's the last that will be first next, and the first will be last next. That's what's happening. You Negroes need to prepare your spirit to be first, or you'll be last twice. That's your only salvation. It doesn't matter how many guns you procure, how much ammunition, how much money you save for generational wealth, or what plan you lay. What's coming next is war. And you have no help except the only help. So if you accept this help, you shall surely be helped. But if you reject this help, your hell will begin. Right? Or I should say intensify, because you're already living in hell. This is literally a Hellenized society in which you get the boot. So it's about to intensify again. And if you can't take this one, you certainly won't be able to take the next one, right? Or the one after that in the spirit. So Esau is the end of the world. That's why you see so when it talks about in Daniel 2, the destruction of the statue by the rock hitting the toes, the feet at the end, those feet represent the Edomites. That is the kingdom that will fall and cause the whole entire Babylonian system to crumble, and then righteousness will flourish in the earth. Right? So knowing this, who is Esau today? We who are vets in this, we know. I've been saying it, but let's see what the scripture says. The scriptures bring it out. So who is Esau today? Whatever nation of people is ruling the world today, this is the nation of the Edomite. Daniel 8, and we'll read 20 to 25. Right, Daniel 8. Who just read? Was it go ahead, Sister Kira?
Sorry, what verse?
Verse 20 to verse 25.
Okay.
So who is Esau today? Right? Because we're trying to get to the bottom of the Babylonian. We heard him called the Babylonian. Now we know he's being called Esau and Edom. So who are these Edomites? Right? Does the Bible tell us? And it surely does. Right? So Daniel 8, verse 20 to 25, we see that the Babylonian who will be destroyed at the end of time, the Edomite that will be destroyed at the end of time, is now going to be called a Greek by the Most High God. So we're not making no mistake here. The Most High is about to call the Edomite a Greek, which he also does in First Maccabees, the 4th chapter, verse 61, and the 5th chapter, verse 3. Go ahead.
The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of Media and Persia, and the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
Pause. The great horn between his eyes is the first king. Who is the first king of Greece according to the scriptures of the Most High God? First Maccabees, the 1st chapter. It says it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes. This is what we're reading about in the book of Daniel. The rough goat is going to destroy the ram. And he tell you the rough goat was the kings of Media and Persia, and then he says the goat was the king of Greece. Let me not. The rough goat is the king of Greece. Watch what the Most High says here. The king that smote Darius of the Persians and Medes, as we just read, and reigned in his stead as the first over Greece. His name was Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian. And when we search that, boom, we catch the oppressor with his pants down. Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, is Alexander the Greek, the Great, the Freak. Okay? There he is in all his splendor. He was born in 356 BC at Pella in Macedonia, the son of Philip II and Olympias, daughter of King Neoptolemus of Epirus. Blah de blah de blah, the oppressor favorite hero of all time. Right? Alexander, the Greek man, Alexander the Freak man. Right? No man could conquer Alexander the Great, they say, except but the thighs of his general. Nothing could conquer Alexander but the thighs of his general. I'll leave the rest up to your imagination. Just profane abomination, man. This is he. Where were we? Daniel 8. The Edomite is the Greek. How are we going to know? Well, we just read that in 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 9, that Esau is the end of the world. And we're going to read right here that Yahawah is going to tell you that the Greek is the end of the world. So Esau is the Greek. He is the so-called Caucasian. He is the oppressor. He is the so-called white man. That is Esau. Right? Let's read. Let's see. 22 in Daniel 8. Sister Kira,
Sorry. 22.
go ahead.
Now that being broken, whereas 4 stood up for it, 4 kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power.
So 4 kingdoms gonna stand up out of the nation of the Greeks, man. 4 other kingdoms gonna come out of Greece, man. And we know Rome was one of them. You understand? But the four kingdoms it specifically was talking about was the four kingdoms under his generals, Cassander. I haven't taught this in such a long time. Cassander, Seleucus, Antigonus, and I don't remember the other one's name. I want to say Lysimus.
Ptolemy. No?
And Ptolemy. Thank you very much, and Ptolemy. The one everybody think is black, but he's he's actually a Edomite. Right? Actually a white man. Actually a Greek. Thank you, sis. Right? Those are the four kingdoms that came out to them after that. Right? And according to First Maccabees, the first chapter, they put crowns upon their heads many years after that, and evil was multiplied in the world. I'll read here from 7 to 9. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. Same thing we're reading here in Daniel. His servants bear rule, everyone in his place. Right? So those four kingdoms were from his four servants, specifically his four generals. And you can look this up in the historical record. That's why we have their names. And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, family. Okay? So these Greeks didn't just disappear. And the most I tell you, that's when evil was multiplied in the world, man. And it just makes sense. And even during the time of Yahawah, it was known that the Edomite is evil, man. The Greek is the epitome of evil, man. You understand? They knew. That's why they tell you don't be like Esau, man. Right? Because he profane and he's a fornicator. All right. Where did you? Yeah, 22. So 22 on down to 25. $22 down to 25, please, Sister Kira.
She went to the bathroom, sorry.
Okay, no problem. Let's see. Ben, you want to take over? Let's get the rest here, Ben. 22.
You mean 23?
That's right.
And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark senses shall stand up.
Read.
And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy thy mighty and holy people.
Pause. The most I tell you, in the latter time of the Greek kingdom, all these things gonna happen, and they're gonna destroy the mighty and holy people. Okay? Now, Greece destroyed the mighty and holy people of Yahawah during the Maccabean wars. But that wasn't the latter time of the kingdom of the Greeks. As we can see, the buildings, the education, the medical terms are still Greek. We're still living in Greece. The laws are still based on Draco, the namesake of the concept of draconian laws. This is Greece. The nakedness, the festivals like Carnival, which is really Dionysus's festival, it's all Greek. So in the latter time of the kingdom, and am I making this up? Well, we'll see. Because the Most High tells you the Greek is going to fight against Christ. The Greek kingdom is going to fight against Christ and get destroyed without hand. But then in another place, we read that Esau was the end of the world. So what does that show you? Esau is the Greek. In another place, we read that the Most High going to destroy Babylon at the end of the world. Babylon is Greece, is Esau, is America, is Rome. They're all the same people. Read.
And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and
Right.
he shall magnify himself in his heart, and
Mm-hmm.
by peace shall destroy many.
Mm-hmm.
He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
So the most I tell you, the Greek is gonna stand up against Christ, man, and he's gonna be broken without hand. He also says that he was gonna destroy the mighty and holy people. And there are two times when he destroyed the mighty and holy people during the Maccabean Wars. The Greek destroyed the mighty and holy people, and you see the descendant of the Greek destroying the mighty and holy people in the slavery prophesied in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, where now the people of the Most High are completely destroyed and now have Stockholm Syndrome. He said they would put chains upon their necks until they were completely destroyed. And now we have the Stockholm Syndrome. We love our oppressor. We put the blonde hair in our head and we believe in democracy, man. Equality and peace and one love, man. That's what we believe in. And say we believe in the Most High, where Christ tells you that the true saints are awaiting the destruction of the Edomites. Revelation 13. 9 and 10 says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword, which is the weapon, must be killed with the weapon. And then the Most High says, all the people that actually following me, yeah, that's what they're waiting for. There is the patience and the faith of the saints. So if you're not waiting for those that lead into captivity to go and they that kill with the weapon to be killed with the weapon, you're not following God. You're following religion. The most I keep talking about vengeance, and it's real. This is not a pie in the sky concept. And the vengeance is coming upon the Edomite, the oppressor, man, that has destroyed his people and tried to annihilate them on several occasions. Couple more. Yeah, I'll just finish this section and then we'll go. Let's see here. So, who is Esau today? The one called the Greek, right? Zechariah 9:13. Right? The Greek and his descendants, man, many years with crowns upon their heads, multiplying evil upon the earth. This is why the scripture says this. Read Ruth.
When I have bent Judah for me, filled with the bow with Abraham, and raised up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. And I will cut off
Nope,
the
that's
chariot.
it. That's it. That's it. That's all I want. Right? So the Most High says, I'll read in context, turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. That's the Israelites, right? And those that cleave to the words of the Most High. Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. When I have bent Judah for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up thy sons, O Zion. So the Most High says he's raising up the sons of Israel against the sons of Greece, man, for destruction. It specifically mentions Greece because Greece, the Greeks and their descendants are the Babylonians today. They are the Edomites today, right? Need a little more evidence? Let's go to Job 9. Job 9:24. Read, Ruth.
The earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judge thereof. If not, where and who is he?
So if it's not the so-called Caucasian, the so-called European, who is the Edomite, where is the Edomite? And who is the Edomite? Because Yahawah give you another piece of evidence here and say, I gave the earth into the hand of the wicked. So whoever is ruling today, that's the wicked. That's the Edomite. That's the Babylonian who the Most High is going to destroy. And from place to place, we know who rules the world. Every geopolitical analyst will tell you this kingdom is the American empire. That is the most widespread and influential kingdom on the earth today. Who runs America? The so-called Caucasian, the oppressor of the Negro, the so-called white man. The Greek, the Edomite. Joel 3. Just bear with me, you guys. Only a couple more scriptures. Joel 3 and verse 6. Go ahead, Ruth.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Which one?
Verse 6.
The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians.
Hold
That
on, hold on. The children of Judah and Jerusalem were sold to who?
the Grecians?
In Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 45 to 48, and specifically verse 68, it says the children of Israel would be sold as male and female slaves when they let me just pull it up. And Yahawah shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, and that spiritual Egypt pursuant to Revelation 11. Well, how you going? By ships. And he says that by the way whereof I speak unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Because he said we'd never see the actual Egypt again. That's in Exodus chapter 14, verse 13. He says, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies, not your friends, your enemies. For bondmen and bondwomen, that's male and female slaves, and no man shall buy you. And again, this buy is redeem. Okay? When you look at the etymology, sorry, not the etymology, when you look at the interlinear, this translation actually says redeem because we have a law in Israel where if a man is poor, he can sell himself to his brothers that cannot use him with rigor as a slave, but must treat him as a hired servant. And then once he puts together the amount of money that he was bought for, he can buy his freedom. Okay. So the Most High is saying nobody will be able to redeem you from this slavery because we're still in it right now. They've deepened it. They've made it mental now. And the minute you commit a crime, it's now legal to enslave you. So your slavery was just transformed. You're now a wage slave as opposed to just getting slaved for free, right? So where were we? Joel 3. So in Joel 3, verse 6, it says, the children also of Judah and Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians. Who sold them to the Grecians? The Most High said, Tyre and Zidon. Who are Tyre and Zidon? Genesis chapter 10, verse 6 and verse 15 tell you Tyre and Zidon are the children of Ham. Okay, children of Canaan, who are the children of Ham. The children of Ham are so-called Africans. How do we know? Mitzrayim is also a child of Ham. Mitzrayim are the Egyptians. So the so-called African, Yahawah said, would sell the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem to the Grecian. And I'm sure when you look at the slave manifests for the ship, it doesn't say they were sold to the Grecians. It says they were sold to Caucasians. Okay? The Caucasian, the so-called Caucasian, the so-called European is the Grecian, who is the Roman, who is the Edomite, who is the Babylonian, who is going to be destroyed by Yahawah, by thermonuclear war. Fought amongst his own people, and then with the whole world turning against him afterward. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap there for today. And then next week we have a couple bonus scriptures we'll look at. Give me a second here. Yeah, we'll wrap here for today, and then next week, Lord willing, we have a couple bonus scriptures just to end this section, and then we'll start the next section looking at the scriptures that prove how America will fall, and then we'll go on from there. All right, we should be able to finish the teaching next week, Lord willing, but that's all the time that we got for today, right? So thank you for your patience, everyone. I pray you were edified and got something out of the lesson. For those watching online, if you want to learn more about the Most High, you Negroes, you're the Most High special people is Israelites, right? Daniel 7 from verse 1 on down will show you that you're very special to the Most High, right? Deuteronomy 28 from verse 1 will show you the same thing. The Most High puts you above all people as his teachers and leaders spiritually on earth when you return to the law, statutes, and commandments. And when you don't, you become a slave. It's always been that way. That's the deal you made with the Most High God, right? Blood was spilled to make the deal. And so blood shall be spilled to pay the consequences of breaking the agreement. Okay? For the sincere stranger seeking to serve the Most High God without religion and philosophy, you've come to the right place. Keep walking with us, and we won't steer you wrong. And to the oppressor, the so-called Caucasian, the Most High has reserved for you death and destruction, and you shall surely have it at his hand. So I'm gonna stop the live, and the people on the line, just stay for us to pray out, please.